Hello. We'll give a few more minutes, a few more seconds for people to get notified. If they do, Lisa said no notification. Thank God for Telegram. Taking a real quick break, so I figured I'd come in and give an update real quick. Got to get out there and finish this table that I'm building. It's coming along pretty well. Hello, Cynthia, Leanne, Zarillin, Lisa. Hello. I have a few updates we're going to go over. Yeah, I didn't jump on it yesterday because I felt there wasn't enough info. I wanted to wait. Plus, I was out fishing yesterday and off-roading through creek beds in my truck because my son wanted me to. But I didn't jump on it yesterday because I figured we needed about 24 hours to pass by to really have some more intel with what's going on with it. Hello, Lottie. How you doing? Yeah, I'm glad to be doing some updates on this. I'm putting up a couple more things I found before we start because there's quite a few things going on. A lot of things, usually, if I'm going to pull something up, there's something that nobody's talking about. So nobody ever seems to talk about these wildfires. So I'm going to talk about some wildfires too that I don't think a lot of people are really talking about. Before we get into Iran thing, hit the like button if you haven't. Good time for the wood that I'm doing to dry out there, the polyurethane and all that dry in this very hot sun. So the wildcat fire in Arizona burns through 5,000 acres and shuts down the national forest. A lot of people aren't talking about a lot of these wildfires. I've been talking about a lot of these wildfires for quite some time. Hello, Bubba News. How you doing? Sarah, Angel, Jeremy, Texas Tony. You massacred the like button. Yeah, I've been working too. I had to come in for a second. On my other channel, I'm going to be showing this table when it's done. I'm creating a table out there for my wife out of a tree cut down, and I'm polyurethaning it and kerosoding it to make sure no bugs and nothing get inside of it and try to preserve it for a while. Sanding down a maple top to make it a tabletop outside for my wife. So here's this wildfire, along with many of them we've been talking about for a while. This massive wildfire in Arizona has burned through roughly 5,000 acres within 24 hours. That's pretty rapid amount of time of acres. Very, very rapid amount. This dry heat, I think it was not just in the East Coast, but it was in India. I shared on Telegram. India's had some of the highest temperatures they've ever had on history. So there's a lot of wildfires going around. There should be enough eye openers for people to seek the kingdom of God first, because there is so much going on. We have got to definitely be seeking Christ. That's why I love that we're doing these psalm readings in the morning, so we can seek Christ together. But this wildfire is most likely going to get worse because there's no rain in sight for out here. And if anybody's ever been to Arizona like I have, this stuff is like setting a match to hay. It's very dry out there. It's very, very dry. So keep some people in prayers out there. And also, I've traveled through some of these national forests, hiking through them. They're very beautiful land out there that is getting destroyed by this, of course. But we know that the Bible tells us that these things would happen. So there's a red flag warning issued for 3 states for extreme fire behavior. This was just about 4 hours ago released. It's not just in Arizona. It's in New Mexico and Colorado. They're at high risk of fires right now. And with the way the wind's been lately too, that ain't going to help with any of this either. New Mexico is pretty dry as itself too. I passed through that area as well. I've never been to Colorado. Always wanted to, but New Mexico and Arizona are very, very dry already. So there's some red flag warnings out there for critical fire weather conditions that could occur now or even shortly. And as you can tell with some of the video they're showing here, I mean, there's high winds with all this dry stuff. It only pushes, it's like adding gasoline to a fire. These winds could reach up to 55 miles per hour, which is going to just spark it in an instant. So also those severe thunderstorms that hit Kansas and Oklahoma last night, I was glad to be able to warn some people on Telegram. There's a lady in our Telegram group that lived in Oklahoma and had no idea it was coming. And as soon as I said it was coming, she immediately sent a message saying, I'm in the closet and there's a tornado. So I was glad that we were able to warn her that this was going on. Some people don't, like me, I don't watch the news. I just stick up with some of these end time things like the Watchers and some Telegram groups. I really don't listen to mainstream media unless there's some key words that are said on that. But some people that watch this channel, this is the only news they get. So I was able to warn some people that lived in Oklahoma, and they were able to hurry and get in cover right before it hit. This was produced baseball-sized hail and tornadoes with strong winds. I know we've been paying attention to stuff for a while. These tornadoes have really been really devastating as of late. Actually, what we were talking about right here, the red alert temperatures for Northwest India, they are on. There's more dry, very intense heat. I expect it to be a very hot year, very hot. So 13 tornadoes in Colorado, Kansas, and Oklahoma. Colorado is under the red flag fire warning too. So you intensify all these heavy winds with all that. It's not helping any of this at all. So I actually do have a video to show.
Last night were truly just the beginning. We were under a severe thunderstorm warning for a majority of the night, and we watched intense bands of both wind and rain come through the area here. Some people reported seeing the power go out. I had someone tell me they saw a nearby power station have a little bit of an explosion when a tree came down. So those are just the little things that have happened, but we know that there could be more as we look ahead to the next few days, seeing the potential for those severe storms to move through the same areas across the plains once again. But our neighboring state here of Kansas already seeing a decent amount of damage. Let's take you to Newton, Kansas, where unfortunately one church is now picking up the pieces from last night's storm. That large derecho we've been talking about moved through central Kansas Sunday evening. That church says their roof was very badly damaged. Newton Fire Rescue says they had to go to several locations to check in on people after trees came down, power lines came down. It was a little bit of a mess there. Over in Salina, as Stephen was mentioning earlier, that hail core, a very wild scene, as you see in this video here. Ping pong sized hail reported by some as they watch flooding rain, close to 2 inches of it fall in just a few hours time. Meanwhile, the airport nearby recording winds up to 100 miles per hour, an incredible number there. And Russell, Kansas is where reports of a actual tornado are coming in. We're still waiting for the National Weather Service to confirm whether or not that was in fact a confirmed tornado that touched down there. But damage video already coming in showing at least 3 structures may have been devastated, leveled in some cases there, on top of all of the other damage, including one to some homes, businesses, cars, and even an electric distribution system in that town. But it's further south in Yukon where we're getting some new video here. As you take a look around, we're getting reports of more than a dozen homes that may have been damaged here and at least 2 people injured.
It's pretty devastating. Yeah, it's pretty hot here too. It's like 88 degrees. Yeah, as my brother Fred would say, the algorithm is getting a lot smarter. So there's a lot of things we got to do different with how we even word things and say things. Some things we can't beat around the bush. We just have to say it, and just algorithm isn't going to like it. But the algorithm is getting smarter with this AI, that's for sure. So I agree with Bubba too. I really think these are going to continue to escalate and get worse. These just even from last year to this year, the tornadoes and the winds have been. I know out here in Indiana, we're not used to hurricane force winds. Last year, we had hurricane force winds came through, and I mean, it destroyed trees. And if you notice a lot of these trees going down, I mean, they're not just like 4, 5, 10-year-old trees. I mean, these are like 20, 30, 40, 50-year-old trees that have been here a while that take time to get as big as they are. We're losing a lot of the trees we really need to breathe air, guys. So I'm going to get over here to this now. I was out in the woods yesterday. So, like I said, I wasn't going to jump on it yesterday. I wanted some time to fly by, 24-hour time to kind of get more of what's going on. I know I've heard some people say possible body double died, some saying it was confirmed. Either way, I really think you could go either way. We know back in the past, there was proof that bin Laden had a body double. But I really do think he was taken out. There's just been a lot going on. And I know Biden was also briefed on it. So it almost makes you think, with the amount of leaders as of late, that there's been assassination attempts, that possibly something could have happened. But either way, I could see Israel being blamed for a lot that is going on. And then eventually it's going to get our hands into it as well, which we're already got our hands in. I mean, Biden and Obama administration gave a lot of money to Iran back in the day, and we're giving a lot of things to Israel. So we're really in this stuff already, just not boots on ground. But I was actually talking about this yesterday on the way home with me and my wife. I was actually saying there's two outcomes this could be. Either the next president could be one that just stands against a lot of the things, or the next one could be somebody that would be even worse. That's the issue when we take out when leaders are taken out. That it's a catch-22. You don't know who you're going to get in. When Saddam was taken out, for instance, what happened in Iraq? It got actually worse, and that's actually sad to say, because Saddam was a dictator, a horrible leader, but it did get worse because ISIS took over, Al Qaeda took over, and then ultimately we ended up leaving all of our equipment behind for them. So an ex-CIA official warns that the next Iranian president will fall in line with the supreme leader. Now, the supreme leader over there is very ruthless. I think that I just wouldn't put it past him to do whatever. I've always said, this is an opinion, it's not biblical based what I say, but I've always said there's two leaders in the world that I feel that absolutely live like they got nothing to lose. I feel the Iranian and Kim Jong from North Korea. I feel those two really walk around with like nothing to lose. And Putin is pretty ruthless too, but I feel Putin is one of those. He wants the land of Ukraine. He doesn't want to level it off the face of the earth. So there's a difference there. He wants that land back. But I really feel when it comes to Iran and North Korea, those two leaders are definitely I just feel they're one of those loose ends that just, it's just going to take one thing for them to just say, hey, enough is enough. So it's really funny because I was actually talking about this with my wife. This is very possible that the next Iranian president come in could join with this axis of tyranny over there. It's very possible. And, further strengthen Hamas and further strengthen the Houthi rebels and strengthen all these other terrorist groups out there. So, Russia and China and North Korea are all in this axis of evil we've talked about before. And like I said, time's going to tell. I really do feel that we are going to be looking at potentially a worse leader brought in than they had. And that's pretty bad to say because there's already some bad dictator leadership going on over there. But you got to think, a lot of these people over there hate anybody that stands for biblical type of standards, of course. I know a lot of people that are over there in Iran that I've talked to that are underground Christians. Iran is one of those underground Christian countries, just like China. So as we see, what was it last year when this all started? I was one of the first channels to bring out that the flag over there stands for the same colors of the four horsemen of apocalypse. I really think we are seeing these things starting to take place, and I'm going to continue to say that. And we're starting to see alliances form together, but still prophecy and time is taking place. It's all in God's hands on whenever these things are going to finally pop off to a level that it's not going to slow down until Christ returns. But guys, I really expect this to be, there's still not a whole lot of things they've really came out with this about, but they're worried that this could spark a all-out war. And I already feel that we're at that point of almost getting there. I mean, there's these hit and miss times, you get like about a month ago, it was really escalating up. Iran was throwing some missiles back and forth. Israel was going, it's like a chessboard. It's it's taken some time and strategy with what they're doing here, and election seasons are around the corner too. And I don't know. There's just I really feel it's already kind of been in an uproar. It's really started since we went to war with Afghanistan back in 2001. It's really just been in an uproar over there already, in pure chaos, and it's only going to get worse over there. If you read the Bible, and it is going to be all out crazy over there. And as I did that Psalm 83 video, a lot of these people, if you got to look at the ancient biblical map compared to where they are now, they're already starting to form these confederacies over here and starting to make alliances. So this could be the thing that pops it off. It really could be. But I think we also thought that when Trump took out one of their generals over there. So it's just a chessboard being played. We're going to have to see what happens. And when they put a new leader in office and what they determine between the black box that they found, if it's going to be, they're going to say that it was foul play from Israel or whatnot. Either way, I still see them saying it's going to be foul play anyways. Whatever they can do to point the fingers. I do believe they're trying to also bring up some war crimes on Netanyahu again. So they're once again in a talk about putting up some war crimes against Netanyahu. I was watching some things last night. There were some channels arguing that it wasn't foggy, some channels that was saying it was foggy. I agree with some things I heard some people say. White smoke is usually, if it was smoke, it would be wood. A helicopter with oil and gas, it would be blackish type of smoke. So it was foggy weather is what I'm going to go with as well too. Not saying I'm correct, not saying any of us are correct, but I will say it was foggy weather. But are they going to determine that was part of this? I really don't think they are. I really think it's at a point where this Israeli war is not going to slow down. It's going to get bad, and it's going to continue to get worse. So the IDF has a mass evacuation at Rafah in Israel. Israeli officials respond to ICC charges. The Iran's president and FM confirmed to be dead. U.S. calls on Hamas to free hostages. I really don't think many of them are really alive anymore, to be honest. As long as this has went on, it would be really hard to believe a lot of them are still alive, or if they're even, let alone taking care of them. But I think it was me and my dad was talking about it. They were talking about battalions, and battalions are not, I forget what they said, it's like a couple thousand to a battalion or whatnot. And Hamas is getting down on the battalions. They ain't got a lot left over there. But there's been more info coming out of some of the intelligence work led IDF to hostages, bodies that have been found. Like I said, I really don't think a lot of these people are still alive. Most civilians moved at lightning speed. Is the U.S. still opposed to the Rafah op? I really don't know where the Biden administration stands with this. One week they say something that we support. The next week they say we don't. Then they come out the next week and they say we do. And then they come out the next week and they say we don't. We really have a president that doesn't even, I'm not trying to belittle him. I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm not on Trump or Biden's side, but as a Christian, I'm not going to make fun of the guy. But to me, really, he doesn't know where he's at. He's a puppet. And I want to play real careful how I say with that, because Christ returns very soon. We got to be acting like Christians, and we have a horrible leader in, guys. I mean, that's even Stevie Wonder could see that, as blind as bad as he is, that we have a horrible leader, but not everybody agrees with that. But that's everybody else's opinion, if they agree or not with it. So yeah, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Exactly. The book of Romans. I think a lot of people forget that. Everybody tries to act like John Wick. And exactly like Zarillin said, it's really funny. It took 15 minutes for them to find Kobe Bryant, everything that happened, and it was a bigger area that he got in a wreck, and this took a lot more time, it seems like. Yes, we have a horrible leader. I really think the red and the blue side are both political clowns, to be honest. Hello, Bellas. Yeah. Exactly. Vincent agrees with me too. I really think he's a puppet. He just looks like he really doesn't know where he's at half the time. It just, I think I seen something. He was at the all black college, and a lot of the graduates were turning their back on him. They actually were facing away from him as he was up there. They all turned around, didn't even want to look at him. So a lot of people really don't like him, like media tells you. But I just think at his age, he should be living the golden years with his wives and his wife and his grandkids. Hard telling. Maybe they have wives. I don't know. You know, um, everything comes out there. Yeah, I would believe it too. My grandma used to live with me and my mom and dad when I was a teenager, and she had dementia, and um, she acted some of the similar ways he does. So it's very possible. But anybody can read a teleprompter too. It depends on how bad of dementia. Some people have dementia that's not so bad that they can still function to a point. Yeah, we have became a laughing stock. Really, we have, sadly. My dad, who served 20 years in the military, and my elder in my church that served 6 years as a Marine, they both would have never served the country if it was the way it is now. And my dad was diehard, 20 years in the Air Force over there in the Persian Gulf War, communications tech. I don't think he would have served this country by the way he sounds. And same for Bruce, my elder. He wouldn't have went over there to Korea and all those areas if it was the way it is now. It's just, it's a complete clown show. So, tomorrow morning we will be doing it'll be live. Don't expect YouTube to notify you. Psalm 40, 90, and 140. We've almost got through 50 days of reading 3 Psalms a day. And then when we're done with that, when June comes, we'll be getting back to the normal schedule on this channel where I'm doing more updates. I haven't been doing as many because, like I'd said when we started the Psalm reading, this was a little bit of a sacrifice to do all the biblical teachings we do and to do the Bible readings too. It was a little bit more to add on to the plate. Sunday, we will be at the Indy 500 street preaching, and then in a couple weeks after that, we'll be in Iowa street preaching. So be looking out for those. I will go live on Indy 500. I do not know about the Pride Parade in Iowa. I will probably not go live just because to protect the channel, to make sure nothing is seen and shown. So, yeah, I've been enjoying reading the Psalm readings. Once we're done with that, we're going to be getting back into some other different studies like the Hebrew and Greek word plays. I've been doing less of those lately. It's just, I don't want to put so much, because with me and my son's channel, I've been doing more on that. It's like running, I have like 3 YouTubes. My backup YouTube, in case anything happened to this, we've been doing YouTube short Bible readings. And then this channel, then me and my son's outdoor fishing and off-roading type of channel, like running 3 channels and being a pastor of a church and being a husband and a father and a grandfather now. It's just, I've been learning to pace this out a little bit now that I've had a lot more on the plate. So I'm feeling comfortable with it now. At first, it was a little overwhelming with as much at all the extra stuff I was doing on the other channel with me and my son. But I'm starting to find a way to work that out and ready to show a video on there of, as you can tell, I'm dirty. I've been working on this. We had a cutoff. My wife wanted a coffee table outside of a tree. So I've been sanding it down and putting polyurethane on it, trying to get it to be weatherproof to stay outside. I can't wait to show you guys the finished product on it. But I took a couple stumps, cut them, and before I treat those, I took the bark off so that the moisture will dry so it doesn't rot. Now I'm going to seal it so it doesn't rot. My son thinks I'm a superhero. He thought that for some reason about 11:30 last night. Let me get out of bed, lay on the recliner with Dad, and just say, "You're the best dad ever. You're really strong, Dad. You're really amazing." I was like, "You're trying to butter me up for something. It's time to go to bed, man." So I think you guys will really like this table. Once I finish, I'll show some pictures on both channels. So there'll be a video on the Pogue Boys channel. Then I'll show some pictures on the community tab. Obadiah 1:15, that verse talks a lot to me with what we've been seeing happening as of late too. I'm not going to lie. That verse has really been striking deep. Tomorrow I'll be putting Saturday's sermon together. So that's why I'm trying to get as much of this table done today, because putting a sermon together takes me pretty much my whole morning. I'm not one of those that likes to start work like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. By that point, it's too hot. I'd rather be out there, get used to it starting to slowly heat up, And then now that it's so hot, I'm okay with it because I've been out there. I don't like just going right out there. I got to start early. So, and I didn't do the Psalm reading early this morning because I woke up 2 o'clock this morning, not feeling very well. So I kind of slept in a little bit today. So I feel a lot better now, though. I don't know if it was a lot of sun yesterday, being out fishing, and I had a couple ticks on me too. Got them removed, but yeah, I just didn't feel very good at 2 o'clock this morning. So I woke up a little late. So I love you guys. Much love to you. May God bless you. We fight from victory, not from defeat, and that's thanks to the blood of Jesus Christ. Till we meet again, Lord willing, keep your heads up.